Can you give us an example of some of the more difficult interviews you've been involved in?
I've been in interviews where candidates haven't been prepared and have not been able to, from the start, answer some of the questions. One particular situation was when a candidate actually thought they were being interviewed for something completely different. So again, you have to actually think, how do you deal with that situation? Do you stop the interview or do you carry on?
Anything else that has surprised you during an interview?
What particular...
There was another situation where a candidate actually produced food during the interview. In the middle of answering a question, they stopped and rummaged in their bag to pull out a Kit Kat, which took both myself and the interviewing manager by surprise. We did ask and inquire as to what she was doing, at which point she actually advised that she was a diabetic and just felt at that particular moment that she just needed a little something to eat to calm things, which was absolutely fine. But again, during the interview, when she hadn't announced that's why she was doing it, it was a bit of a surprise.
Well, not completely different.
How important is the way a candidate dresses for an interview?
We're going through the stage system.
A candidate's dress for interview is important because it shows how serious they take the situation. However, I would always recommend that candidates would come to interview in a dress that is appropriate for the role they're applying for. In today's modern recruitment environment, it's not always necessary for a guy to wear a suit to an interview. However, you would expect to see a shirt, you would expect to see a blazer, you would expect to see appropriate footwear, and the same for a lady as well. Certain clothes, certain types of footwear would be inappropriate to come into an interview and may set a perception of that candidate which is perhaps incorrect.
Have you ever had an interview with someone who was dressed very inappropriately?
I had an interview on one occasion where a candidate actually arrived in tennis gear, a white t-shirt and shorts. They'd literally come straight from the tennis court, and they had simply forgotten the interview was on that day. Had suddenly had the reminder that actually they were due to be at the interview, so I thought they would come anyway as they were. I did see the candidate and they were actually very impressive. We just had to move past the clothing aspect, but actually it was quite funny and allowed a real opportunity to engage with that particular candidate from the start.
Did that person get the job?
No, they didn't.